This is kind of like a fly on the wall situation where you can watch three grown men and literally eavesdrop. You are like the NSA.
Yes, okay, so it is kind of a crypto show as well, people, but it is three fellas catching up. Where to start, guys?
What do you guys think? Twitter is now x.com, and it's going to be the new financial product of the world.
I'll tell you exactly what I think, Jesse, for the first time ever, and I've threatened to do it on a number of occasions, but I am actually going to buy some Doge.
I know. I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
If you were to bet $500 that Doge will go up in the next cycle, perhaps more so than just because of a bull market, but because of this Elon Musk app thing. I'm not like a fanboy of Elon Musk or anything, and he's just yet another billionaire stirring the pot, causing a ruckus. So I find even someone like him kind of annoying. But I like him a lot in other ways. I don't know him personally, of course, but I almost think of Elon Musk sort of like Richard Hart sometimes in terms of his cult of personality.
Every single hater that's talked shit has been wrong, and I demand respect now. I demand my fucking respect now. They were all wrong. I was right.
I'm assuming Elon Musk is a lot more, humble and
grounded.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure Elon's so happy that you've compared him to Richard Hart. But
well, I've seen recently that Elon Musk tweeted saying that he's quite fond of Hex, but he was responding. But he was responding to someone who was talking about hexagonal math. Basically, what Elon Musk said, and he's a smart guy and he knows crypto. The way he worded it was like, "What are you doing? Are you doing yet another one of these trolling everyone by saying, oh, I'm quite fond of Hex?"
We've actually had Richard Hart on the show before. It was probably one of the ones I enjoyed the most. And that community donated, I think they gave us about $1,000 worth of the token, which we split between four of us. $250 was worth, I think about 60K at one point. It's obviously dropped right back. And that sort of leads me on to maybe something you can help myself and the audience with, Jesse. What is up with PulseChain? Did you sacrifice some coins?
I was one of the earlier on, like one of the first level of sacrifice, because there was different tiers the longer you waited, and it became less. I don't know the tokenomics that well, but I just blindly follow Richard Hart.
Listen, I think you should trust me, but if you get into the habit of trusting people like me, you get the crap scammed out of you.
I sacrificed $5,000 worth of Hex. And I did that because that $5,000 worth of Hex was just appreciated from the original couple $100 worth of Hex that I got through our donation show. From start to now, from soup to nuts, I've had nothing but good experiences with it. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not one of these hexicans who swears by and says Hex is the future and everything else. I don't really even care, to be honest. I don't know how you could ever say, oh, Hex fixes this or PulseChain fixes this. It's like, no, Bitcoin fixes everything. Fuck you. I'm just trying to make a little extra shillings.
Little moolah. Hasn't he got a movie coming out that's actually
it looks crazy. I love how he's the most egotistical maniac in the trailer. He says in the movie he's an egomaniac, but now that the movie's over, he's saying, that was the old me. That guy's dead now. I'm
oh, is that right?
Well, he's like I'm Mr. Humble now. Like, remember, that's the old me. I'm like, how convenient. You wait till the movie's over, then it's the old me. But look, he's made my point from all of this is that I've done well because of Hex. I didn't have to do much. I did exactly what I was told by Mr. Hart, which is hold it, stake it, get profits out later, restake it. I've done that and it worked. And then what I ended up taking profits, sacrificing that to PulseChain. Recently, when PulseChain dropped, I don't know if it was like a month or two ago, I logged into the new mainnet, and I added all the new tokens on the Pulse side, which was basically a copy of all my Ethereum tokens. I have those now in my wallet, P version, and the amount that I have in what I got from the sacrifice and everything it's currently, I think it's a little bit above sacrifice price, but it's more than what I sacrificed, what I have now in Pulse and PLX and all these things. And also there's a farm and a mining incentive coin, INC, which at its highest, it was like $80. And I do believe that just like Hex, I think that PulseChain come this new bull run. I mean, I could already cash out right now and be above whatever I sacrifice, and that's nice.
Okay.
But I see it going.
I'd sacrificed some coins as well, so I'm slightly disappointed to hear that we didn't make a killing on that, and other people can just basically jump in now and pretty much get it for the same price as what I'm hearing from you.
I don't know about if they got in now, because like I said, I sacrificed about $5,000 worth of Hex. I have more than $5,000 worth of coins now that I could cash out if I wanted to. So it was beneficial for me. And ultimately, this is why I brought it up with Elon Musk and saying that, X.com or whatever, Twitter, or whatever the hell he's going to be calling it, is going to be this new, basically like 50% of the world might be using it as their financial means of paying for things. I don't necessarily find it to be as insane as any of Richard Hart's statements. I think that Elon Musk, flies around the world in spaceships, and he makes autonomous cars, and it's like, okay, I can see him actually pulling something like this off, perhaps.
I can see Baloo in his shed there in Northern California looking all pissed off that we're talking about alts. He's now our resident Bitcoin maxi.
Altcoins are a test net for Bitcoin. Okay, anything that has worked on Ethereum, anything that has worked on Hex, anything that's worked on Matic, anything that's worked anywhere in the altcoin space is a good idea. And it's now having the ability to try itself on the real chain, the one that has the liquidity and has the interest. And we're starting to see that right now. Now, the first coin to really make an impact on Ethereum was Chainlink. And the reason it made such an impact is because it took data, specifically price data, from the real world and brought it to the blockchain. Why that was so important is it allowed for stablecoins. Stablecoins are the lifeblood of DeFi, okay? And there's a project called TRAC, TRAC, that is trying to do indexing. It's trying to do Oracle data. They're trying to do it in a decentralized way. Currently, it's centralized, but they're working on a decentralized, protocol. If they're able to achieve this, it's not going to be very long until we have stablecoins, truly trusted and decentralized stablecoins on the Bitcoin network. That is going to spark the bull market, in my opinion. So these ideas, like we're in a sandbox of ideas, and we're seeing stuff that works, that gets attention, and we're seeing all of these people want to interact with DeFi protocols. It's just they didn't have the staying power, and in my opinion, it didn't have the staying power because it didn't have the fundamental intrinsic value of a currency like Bitcoin. Just my opinion. I'd be happy to be wrong, but that's my opinion on the Bitcoin
What I'm
side.
hearing here is that you're now on Bitcoin, there could be those sort of 100x shitcoin type opportunities. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, sure, it's what I'm saying, but more what I'm saying is all of the good ideas that have come from other projects on other blockchains are now having the ability to take a punt on Bitcoin. And because Bitcoin has the highest security, highest amount of users, highest liquidity, I think it's a very good place to try those ideas out.
Okay.
And if those ideas are successful, you're going to see 100x, you're going to see 1000x. That's not really why I'm here and why I'm, I'm not, trying to like comb through the blockchain to try and find those ideas. But I'm very excited to see the space develop because it's only going to be good for Bitcoin. And if you happen to strike gold along the way, fantastic. But
what do the Bitcoin maxis say about all of this?
It depends. I consider myself to be a Bitcoin purist. And I think if you're going to have an altcoin, it should be on the Bitcoin network. Other people are saying, no, Bitcoin's a payment network only. It's a censorship resistant payment network only. So there's a bit of divide in the Bitcoin community right now between those who are excited about the potential of Taproot and Ordinals and those who are saying Ordinals are an attack on Bitcoin. I think any attack on Bitcoin is good because it stress tests the network, and you can't just have a cushy, fluffy little cloud to live on all the time. You have to stress test the network. And if you can create, you know, a speculative economy and a DeFi economy and around that, then that's a positive thing.
Jesse is our biggest shit corner on the chat here today. Do you understand this ordinal space? Are you involved in it?
I feel like I have everything locked up right now. I'm happy to keep learning and reading and watching videos and all that, but
you're not liquid.
I'm kind of, I was really lucky in the Ethereum NFT world, because, you know, the few NFTs that I did get into, either they had a utility and they're earning in a way, like in the play to earn space, or I just lucked out with the damn Bored Ape. And look, I got airdrops. Everything's great about the ape, but even I'm wondering, like, I wonder if that community is going to rise again in the next bull run, or are NFTs going to have a resurgence, or is it they're going to get more into the utility side? I mean, like, I don't understand the immense amount of NFTs that are just pictures, right? And I mean, that seems like, it's like when actual physical playing cards started going out, and you had Magic the Gathering, which did really well, right? But then if you ever went to the card store, there'd be like 60 other games. It's like, who plays this dog shit?
Right. Fun little thing about Bored Apes, Jesse. In Bitcoin Ordinals, there's actually a one-way bridge that you can take your Bored Ape. I'm not suggesting that you do this, because if I had a Bored Ape, I wouldn't, but it's just a fun tidbit of information. There's a one-way bridge over to the Bitcoin network where you can take your Bored Ape and it can exist on the Bitcoin network. Last time I checked, nobody had done it yet, and I think that's fair because it's a one-way bridge. You're burning your Ethereum Bored Ape for a Bitcoin Bored Ape, but it's
if you had 10 of them and you had some, you know, I would do it.
You give it a crack with one. I mean, I know. I think you had one. I don't know if you still have it or not. But what was it worth at its peak, and what's it currently trading at?
Well, here's the thing. One led to the airdrop of the mutant version, so I essentially have two. At the height,
it was like 140, 150 ETH.
Well, that was at the peak. I think that was the floor.
Right. Yeah.
There was, and my ape isn't quite floor. So it was even higher. It you know, at the very peak, it was psychotic. But again, like I said, like it's the airdrops are pretty decent over a course of 1 year, no matter which year. And it just does seem like I would say this, that like not just biased because I have a Bored Ape, but like I've at least been a part of different NFT based communities, and I've seen this and that, and they do seem to have this community vibe on a very like loyal, culty, intense way that is at the very least, it's impressive, because it's like any of these crypto, whether they are hexagons or Bored Apes or whatever the fuck. Once they get to a certain level, and you get into the discords and you see the way these people talk, and it's like, I see. I mean, first of all, you get your big level nerds who just don't have a life, so this is the new life that they latch onto. But then you get the other people who are they're also addicted to the idea of, if this community does well, then I'm going to make more money. And so, you know, it's like people who play poker for money or not at all. It's like, I don't play it for fun. I play it for the money, you know?
So of all, maybe a good question then. I mean, you know, I know you're on this on the daily and have been right through the bear market. Is there any communities that you want to give a shout out to, that you actually see a lot of activity? There's a lot going on. I mean, maybe they're the ones that I'm certainly interested to hear about at this point in the cycle. Which communities impress you?
Gala community as a whole, especially like the film and the music, especially with like the film. Like, I don't know if you've been watching the hype around the Sound of Freedom exploding in America, which is, you know, the anti-pedophilia ring film. And, you know, Hollywood's trying to shit on it for being, you know, Hollywood doesn't like when you call out the pedos. that movie is really doing well in it's very independent, very separated. And what I see in Gala Film is they're going that route. They're producing their own films. They're getting actually big name celebrities, people like the guy from Ozark and Mira Sorvino, and all these big name actors are coming in and they're starring in films made by Gala, the company that only a couple of years ago, we were doing on our show, we were covering it as this, like, basically it's a founder's node and you can earn some Gala tokens and there might be games in the future. And suddenly now it's like, not only are we playing spider tanks and we're playing games that are like Grit, that are like actually addictive. People are playing it. There's YouTubers now streaming themselves playing Gala games, that just like it's Fortnite or Call of Duty. That to me is most impressive. I've been part of that. Other Web3 games I've been following since the beginning of DeFi Kingdoms. I've never seen, for a game that looks like Zelda, it looks like a card game that's not even finished yet. I've never seen a community so gung-ho and also like their staff, they're constantly running contests, AMAs, oh God, all kinds of things. They're so booming. And I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why I've been such a big part of it. I guess because during the bear market, there's like nothing to do in crypto. And so you just latch on to anything that's actually happening. And that's what I found out is like the gaming world, they didn't give a fuck that it was a bear market. They just kept pushing forward because the whole idea is to create a game. I mean,
that's enjoyable, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You've been a hardcore gamer since I've known you, which is going on 20 years now. What I'm hearing is there's actually play to earn or crypto games that are kind of fun enough just to play.
Yeah, I think that Axie showed that people, because people who liked Axie loved Axie. Like some of our old teammates there, back from hard forking in the old day, they'd play it day in and day out, and they had squads and friends and clans, and they were always learning new meta and ways to win the game, and they're loving the game.
Yeah.
And then there was like nothing else. But Gala now has games that I log in every day and I play spider tanks to do the missions. So you complete a few missions, you get some ingredients to upgrade your shit, or you can get Silk token, which I get every day because I also run a spider tanks node. But you do these little missions and then you're done. Or you could keep playing for fun and keep getting more points, and it's fun. So I at least spend like half an hour a day playing spider tanks, where I used to play Dota, and I would play that for 2 hours a day, and I'd get no crypto for it. And I'd probably have a fucking anger rage attack half the time. And then, and that's it. That was 2 hours of my day gone. Now it's like, I don't even play that game anymore, but I do play spider tanks and I do earn crypto by doing it.
I think at one point, hard forking probably had we're pretty sure we were the second biggest guild when it came to Axie. And I don't know about you guys, but I mean, geez, I've still got about 50 Axie teams. So obviously, I'm hoping that one makes a comeback. And on that note, I hope some of our play to earn community are watching this. We're going to fire up the Discord again. Baloo let me know it's just full of spam at the moment, so we'll clean that up and get that going again. For me, that was probably the most fun I had during the last run. And actually, it wasn't really even during the last run, was it? It was sort of around this time leading into the bull run that we were probably some of the first people sort of in there setting up Axie teams. And it was a real pleasure to get to know all those people from the Philippines. Great community. A lot of them became good friends. And in fact, I think 3 of them reached out to me a couple of days ago.
The live shows and the giveaways and it was fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people were effectively making an income from this, especially in the Philippines. And, the reality is, we got the nod from people that sort of understood the mathematics to, hey guys, now's the time to sell up here. None of us did, because you'd have to be pretty cold-hearted to, take an income away from somebody that really needed it. We knew that we were going to take a financial hit, but yeah, I sold nothing. So it'd be great to see that particular game come back, because I still have every single team. That I bought into. So bizarrely, I think I ended up taking quite a large financial hit and hanging in there. I'm sure that was the experience for you guys as well.
Yeah, I should have been cold-hearted.
I was too late on the Axie train, although it is nice that I've been using the, what is it? At this point, I'm doing a Ronin to wrapped Ethereum pair in the Katana thing. I've been doing that since it opened. And I guess I wouldn't have had that hadn't I done the Axie thing. And come the next bull run, the amount that I'm earning through the wrapped Ethereum and Ronin pair and Katana, that'll be worth enough to make up for everything I paid for in the Axie.
I mean, on that note, if there is anyone from the community out there that wants a team again, we've got hundreds of them. Get in touch. As I say, a few of them did reach out to me yesterday, so I'll have a chat with those guys and see what's up. So just maybe closing out the play to earn chat. Do you guys believe that's going to be a thing in this cycle?
Yes. I just think we need consensus of a larger data set of players to agree upon a sustainable currency. I think the biggest thing or the biggest downfall for something like Axie Infinity or Peg Axie is they're all issuing their own currency, whereas you need to have an intrinsic backing of a real currency that has more use case than the game. So if we had Axie Infinity, where the payout was not SLP, but the payout was Satoshis or the payout was Gwei and ETH, that would have been exponentially more sustainable. It would have been slower growing. It would have been less hype, but it would have been exponentially more sustainable. So the play to earn model is not finished. The play to earn model has not even really started, in my opinion. It just needs to be built upon a stronger currency that's not dependent upon game player and Ponzi-nomics.
So what you're saying is, like, for instance, when I play Spider Tanks now, not only do you, I mean, it's like a coin within the coin. Like, basically, you don't earn Gala, you earn Silk token, which is Spider Tank's based token in the Gala network blockchain. So, it's they have a secondary blockchain for it. So basically, you would earn Silk token, and then you could sell that. Either you sell that for USDT or whatever, or you would sell that to Gala, which you'd sell that as basically there's a bunch of steps in there. Are you saying that basically it's annoying to have those steps and it would be nicer just to be able to?
Personally, me, fucking annoying.
I don't think it's a matter of annoyance. I think it's a matter of sustainability and demand.
Poor economic model would be the reason I say it's fucking annoying. And saying that, Jesse mentioned, getting paid out in ETH. Do you guys remember that? I think it was called Looks Rear. I threw a bunch of cash at that. And the reason I did it was paying a dividend in ETH. I mean, it's quite funny. We're saying this, basically admitting that, that's a security. But I sort of split my investment there. So half was being paid out in Looks and the other half in ETH. Now, I think I probably bought the top, actually, and it's worth next to nothing now. So I'm down 90%. But when I looked at it the other day, I'm break even on the payout that I got from ETH. So I've been sitting on that for going on for 2 or 3 years now. So I don't know. Are you guys familiar with that? I know it's an NFT platform. Some people have told me they don't like it. It's full of scams and whatever. But I haven't really been a big NFT guy. Look something you guys got into or you're aware of?
I'm still in it.
Oh, you're in it?
I'm still in it. Yeah. I've been staking in the Looks compounder. I'll probably continue to do so for the duration of the phase 1 and phase 2 of the bull market. Yeah, I don't see any reason in selling now. It's kind of been more or less stable with my entry. So it's really only got upside.
You're really in the shit if you're selling any of your altcoins right now.
Yeah, there's no point. If you rode the fucking train all the way down this far, like there's no point.
Get the job at McDonald's and hang on to it, people.
I can say two
Swallow your pride.
about the market right now. I can say your coin is useless and it's never going to come back. And I can also say don't sell it because it's not worth it. Because both are true. You know, there's no point in selling because there's always the possibility that it can come back. But like, it's just a lot of this stuff's not going to come back. In my opinion, you know, I'm not speaking to any of the projects in particular that we've spoken about today. I'm just talking about overall data sets and overall trends. Most alts do this, and then they do this and they flatline. That's just the nature of the beast. There are outliers, of course, but a lot of them follow that pattern.
Although without sounding like a dick, I did somewhat call the top, and you know, I wish I'd sold everything. But I took enough out to survive the beer, so to speak. So you know, my big learning beer is always take some profit off the table. I do think now is sort of really great time to be learning about the space if you haven't. On that note, maybe one that we could have a closer look at on next week's show is one called Avalanche. Now, this has been around for a while, but the reason I'm liking it is that they are quite heavily involved in the tokenization of real estate. Now, unfortunately for Jesse, well, not unfortunately for Jesse, because he was smart enough to purchase property, but the you know, we're in a scenario where interest rates, inflation seem to dictate the crypto market to a large degree, but bizarrely, we live on a freaking island where the price of real estate's up between, depending on who you talk to, 40 and 60% just in the last year, primarily driven by a lot of rich Russians that are effectively dodging the draft or just far too intelligent to be hanging around under Vladimir Putin's regime. Unfortunately for the rest of us, it's meant that prices are skyrocketing here. It's the same in Singapore, whereas the rest of the world, real estate's plummeting. So just like crypto, I think what we're going to see over the next year will somewhat be regional. When I say that, I mean with regards to regulation or legislation, then regulation. I think Asia is going to be a bit of a hotbed moving forward. Sort of thoughts on that, guys? I mean, it seems to me that the US is coming to its senses at the moment. We've obviously got this ETF, which would be a massive catalyst, in my opinion, for the kickoff of the bull run from our man Larry Fink at BlackRock. Thoughts on that, guys? Sort of the regional aspect of what we're seeing. As our American, Jesse, maybe you want to kick that off?
Regionally wise?
I mean, you know, the US is still the major player when it comes to capital. Asia seems to have the appetite for, you know, the high risk alt type plays, especially Korea. But what's been your experience, your feelings of what you've seen out of the US over the last year? I mean, you got what's his name, RFK, saying he would potentially back the US dollar to 1% with Bitcoin.
I think it's very
capital
telling.
Gains tax on it.
I think it's very telling that you got RFK saying that he would be totally pro Bitcoin. You got that other guy, DeSantis, saying he would ban CBDCs. You got a bunch of people who are saying, you know, and then you got Trump saying, you know, basically he'll shit on the swamp or whatever he says he'll do. But then you still have these weird vampires lurking around in the system, doing whatever they can to FUD or deter or block progress. I think a lot of people look at America with like disdain, and they've already kind of waved them off like they're fucked. I think, I mean, if I were thinking about regional investment, like where to be, I would be getting away from America personally. I mean, I did that. I am biased because I did that physically, remove myself from the country a long time ago. But I just see so many better opportunities outside.
I mean, yeah. I mean, are you guys familiar with Avalanche? The you know, the reason I'm sort of bringing it up is I think maybe on the show next week we'll go into a bit more detail, but keeping it high level, the tokenization of assets is underway here in Thailand. It's happening with real estate. I believe Europe is also looking at this, and Avalanche seems quite central to that. So, if we're talking about alternative projects outside of BTC and ETH, the two that I'm really looking at the moment are Doge and Avalanche. They're the ones that have got my interest at this point.
Well, DeFi Kingdoms runs a subnet on Avalanche.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And Baloo, you're just going to be our BTC ordinal man moving forward. Is that right?
I just think that, the claim, I've seen so many projects claim that they're going to tokenize real estate, but all of them seem to neglect the fact that the real estate market has real estate agents and real estate infrastructure and real estate bureaucracy. And I think it's going to be one of the last sectors to actually be adopted, to actually adopt blockchain technology. I think there are much more.
I strongly disagree.
Well, that's fine. You can disagree with me all you want. I know several real estate agents, and there's not a single one of them that's even close. They're all assholes, and they're not even close to even entertaining the idea of changing the way that they work.
I could almost imagine, Baloo, like maybe like if it's possible to do a closely knit test net, if you will, version of it. Let's say, because in Rawai in Phuket, in a small, well-to-do beach town where you've got like 50 Russian dudes driving around on nice bikes as realtors with a scarf around his neck, and he's jumping up like, yeah, this is 2 million in Bitcoin, and they're trading with crypto, they're savvy, they're running off to do DMT with some chick on the beach, and then they're selling another house, and it's like this community would be perfect. They would probably embrace that sort of thing. Could you start?
I think that's yeah, but the problem is, like, real estate is a super high value asset, right? Like you're wanting to get the most money that you can from that asset. So to take your high value asset and then put it in a tiny little market where there's like 3 people that might be interested, but they're going to fuck you around and maybe take you for a beer and fuck you around a little bit. Or you could take it to the liquid market where shit sells in a few days. People are going to take it to the liquid market where shit sells in a few days.
Yes, I mean, look, the reason I disagree with you, I mean, if you look at when we all rocked up to this island, you could actually buy a condo with cryptos just straight out
through an agent. Through an agent,
correct?
Yeah.
But imagine
not through a smart contract
as a foreigner,
network.
I can't get a bank loan here. So imagine if.
I'm not saying you can't.
Hypothetically, between the 3 of us, if we said, "All right, we want to buy this house in Phuket or Samui or whatever,"
but those are different things, Sean. Those are different things. The tokenization of an asset is a way for you to put it onto the marketplace, and it's a way for you to involve a smart contract so that when the buyer purchases the token, they now have the asset under their control. That's very different from, hey, I would like to buy your condo. Do you accept Bitcoin? Or, hey, I would like to buy your condo. Do you accept it?
Yeah, correct.
Those are very different things.
But that's why I think the tokenization and securitization, we're going to be really clear on that. So,
but you're removing the real estate agent, and you're removing the notary, and you're removing all the middlemen, and you're
getting rid of all the paperwork in between. And basically what you're also doing.
Good luck with that. The bureaucracy of the real estate market is like they want their cut.
The ability to collect the tax on this. Whereas previously you could buy a condo, and the reason they stopped that soon after we got here is, where was the paper trail? How could they monitor that? How could they get their stamp duty, etc.? So you got a scenario now where I think last year 83%, I believe, of purchases were by Russians, and this war unfortunately looks like it's going to drag on. And what I'm hearing, I'll whack an article, either you're seeing it now or it's in the show notes, but the numbers of people arriving here from Russia is only going up. So I think that the Thai authorities have probably been smart enough to go, well, okay, how do we actually monitor this? How do we collect revenue on the sale of land? And look, it's happening in Europe as well. So I you know, it's good that we're not agreeing on this, and maybe on the show next week, we come a bit more prepared to throw a few arguments at each other on the pros and cons of this and explain
I'll
it.
tell you
I agree at the concept. I understand the concept. It makes perfect sense. I think that, you know, there are huge benefits to the seller and there are huge benefits to the buyer, but I think we're underestimating the bureaucracy of the agent in the middle.
Trading crypto
it's-
with an owner on a peer-to-peer sort of house buying situation. That's great.
No
Yeah,
argument there. It's a
but
perfect application of blockchain. I just think personally, I think that's going to be one of the use cases that's a little bit further down the road. I think that there's going to be other stuff that comes first. And, you know, real estate deals is going to be one of the later things to be adopted.
Well, all right,
But
back that up. What's going to come
100%
before real estate, in your opinion, as far
stocks.
Right.
I think stocks are going to come first.
Okay.
Buying stocks with crypto, you mean?
I think a liquid tokenized stock market is going to come before a liquid tokenized real estate market.
Okay. So look, where do you guys think we are in this cycle? I think we're all kind of in agreement. This is the time to really be picking the winners for the next cycle, and then we're going to see, you know, once the whole thing sort of kicks off, which I personally think will be middle to end of next year. That's where you're going to have the, you know, the madness again. The retail investors jumping in it effectively when it's all kind of over and getting burnt again. So where do you really think we're at right now?
I think the bottom is in, and
Yep.
I think any funds that you allocate to crypto, especially if they're in the higher market cap coins, are going to be somewhat pegged to the value of Bitcoin. So meaning Bitcoin will drag their value up. That's where we are, where the bottom is in, and anything you buy is not going to outperform Bitcoin, but it's not going to necessarily underperform Bitcoin, which is a step forwards, because, you know, a few months back, alts were still underperforming Bitcoin. So we're kind of at parity right now. So it's a great time to be seeding your investment portfolio and looking at, you know, venture capital bets and stuff like that.
I agree. You know, the show we did yesterday, that Ethereum chart you put up, that was really interesting to me, because there's a lot of clear air up to 3,200. I think he was saying, link below to that, people, if you want to look at it. It's a short show. But what I find really fascinating at the moment is, if you've been smart enough to buy cheap ETH, and I do think 2K is cheap, or 1,800, whatever it is now, you obviously need 32 ETH to be able to run a node. Now, what's really interesting here is that the waiting time to get that node online is I believe it's 39 days. So in other words, there's people queuing up that want to run a node and therefore make an interest off that Ethereum node. Now, the time to unstake that ETH is 0 days, and nobody's doing that. So if they were, you wouldn't be waiting 39 days to be running a node. So what does that tell you? That's just basic mathematics right there. So for me, my play at the moment is accumulating BTC, ETH, and a couple of other, what I would consider not shit coins. And for me, I'm putting Doge in that category. I'm definitely going to be buying some Doge this week. And having a closer look at Avalanche. So I think on next week's show, I'll go into a bit more detail for you guys on Avalanche and see if I can sell it to you. I don't know on either of those at the moment, by the way. So do either of you have enough ETH for a node?
No, and I won't.
I wouldn't probably.
No, is it a no comment from Jesse?
I probably wouldn't.
If you could remember where all your wallets are.
I don't know why. I just I don't fuck with the ETH other than using it for spending and gathering. For some reason, I don't want to stake it, and I don't know what it is about Ethereum. It's too much work or something. I don't know.
Most of your shit coins are on top of it, Jesse.
Yeah, I know. But like, I'm gonna
All the
sell
shit
all that
coins
crap. I'm gonna sell all that crap.
until, yeah.
I don't want shit coins anymore. I need to get rid of these. The thing is, I almost don't have anything that's not, you know, top 50. And then except for like a couple of wild ones that I've always enjoyed, but like everything on my little list of bags that I'm waiting to offload, almost all of them, because this is like what Baloo was saying earlier with like, you know, most coins are just going to go flatline. Yeah, of course, because there's just so many thousands of coins, but there's also like your top 100 where a lot of them won't just stay flatline. But still, that's a small percentage of coins compared to the motherload of all the coins.
So maybe look, I know it's getting late for you, Baloo. So a couple of questions. We'll wrap it up. First question is there that shed you're living in? Are there actually bears out there? Have you got some of that bear spray if you are attacked? And will you be changing your name to Baloo the Bull?
I will not be changing my name to Baloo the Bull. I think bears are smart creatures that learn to survive the crypto winters. And I don't need bear spray.
Nice.
Jack
Nice.
and Daniels.
Jack and Daniels.
and last, well, actually, there's 3 questions, but the last one, obviously, I've mentioned a couple of coins that we'll look at closely next week, being Doge and Avalanche. Is there anything that Jesse and I can go away and research that you think we should be really having a close look at? Trax is obviously one that you've mentioned. Definitely going to be researching that.
The 2 most interesting projects for me right now in the Bitcoin space are Track and Bitmaps.
Where's my
Bitmaps?
Sorry, second one.
Bitmaps. 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 It's basically a token standard for the metaverse, which is a way of issuing land, which doesn't sound unique, except every other metaverse project before has not had an issuance schedule, has not had an issuance standard. They just say, this is how big our metaverse is, buy plots of land. Bitmaps is different because every single Bitcoin block, there is a new parcel of land.
I think Jesse's buying it right now. Where do we go to learn about that and buy?
You can buy it on Ordinals wallet. You can buy it on what's the one that was really popular with Solana? Oh God, Magic Eden. You can buy it on Unisat. You can buy it lots of places.
Okay. Jesse, you can close it out. What would you say Baloo and I should be having a look at before the show next week?
Oh, let me think about that. Give me a second.
And don't just tell us the biggest bag that you're holding.
I would love to know. I'm sure INJ will do well. Injective.
Sorry?
Do you know Injective?
Injective protocol.
INJ. I have a feeling that's gonna.
INJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can
you quickly tell us about that?
I think I had first learned about Injective through Mark Cuban.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's a layer 1 blockchain. But they're backed by like Pantera, Mark Cuban, Binance. And that's one of the like that's not even one of my bigger bags, but I just feel like there are actually more. There's a lot of good projects out there that are going to do well in this upcoming bull run, and I think as long as you know it's not a true shit coin, whatever bags you're holding, just hold on, you'll be fine.
Excellent. Okay, well, listen, this crypto catch-up was your idea, so I'll let you close it out and say goodbye to whoever's still watching and what they can expect moving forward from us.
Yeah, so this whole point of doing this was because like Baloo and Sean and myself, we all speak pretty openly, happily, you know, and insightfully about all things crypto and current events. So the idea is to, instead of holding such a you know, a television show fundamental structure, just make it a catch-up call once a week, chat and talk about crypto. And that's what we just did. You just witnessed it. Of course, I'm going to edit it up a little bit and spice it up and make it a little bit more entertaining. But yeah, it's just hanging out, and you guys can hang out with us, and we'll make it more interactive and intricate and complex and cool and fun and all of that stuff as we grow.
As Jesse said, it's three guys been in the space for quite a while now, just talking to each other as opposed to sort of being overly conscious about talking to an audience. So we hope you like this style. We're not talking to you, we're talking to the other two guys. See you two guys next Saturday. Cheers.
Later.
Thanks for your time, guys.